Back, everybody, to the Bucs Planet podcast, and I'm back in my own room, back in Tampa. Of course, you've never seen my room, but for those of you who haven't, I would just like to show you this little addition to my room that I have right here. My boy, Chris freaking Godwin, life-size poster, unbelievable. I love it. I just had to show you guys that. All right, now let's get right into it. There are a lot of problems with this team. And they only get exposed when we play a playoff caliber team. And we're going to go through, I'm going to dissect what's happened mostly against what happened. Mostly what happened against the Chiefs is what I'm going to talk about. But we'll talk about some stuff from the Rams too. And that complete debacle. And I understand we lost each game by only 3 points, but that was not indicative of how the game went. The game planning has been so piss poor that it's unbelievable that we have the highest paid coaching staff in the league with the most members. We have not only the highest paid coaching staff in the league, we have the most amount of coaches in the league. We have the largest coaching staff in the league, so highest paid and largest coaching staff in the league. And yet no one knows how to game plan? What? And we're going to talk about that right now. So let's just talk about the game plan for the defense against Tyreek Hill, okay? Who, by the way, just to point this out, Tyreek Hill had 200 yards in the first freaking quarter of the game. 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay? He was on pace for 1,000 yards in the game at one point. And then after the first quarter, he was on pace for 800 yards in one game. Unbelievable. And Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles' idiotic game plan was to come out and only have one safety on the field, and that being a rookie Antoine Winfield. And they don't even roll him to the side Tyreek Hill's on. They don't even shadow him to that side. They just leave him in the middle of the field so Carlton Davis can be left out to die. That's what they did. Unbelievable. On his first touchdown pass, that was one of the greatest throws I've probably ever seen, but he was wide open nonetheless, so it couldn't have been super hard throw. That went 75 yards, and I was at this game now. I saw how far that ball went, and, I saw Tyreek Hill the whole time. Carlton Davis wasn't even close to him. And if you're Antoine Winfield, who I don't blame in this scenario, I really don't, because he's lined up in the middle of the field because that's where the coaches told him to go instead of shadowing him to Tyreek Hill's side. When the ball's in the air, and you're a safety, you're supposed to run over to where the ball's going, try to, intercept or cause an incompletion to the pass. But when you're Tyreek Hill and you're Patrick Mahomes, who's the best quarterback in the league, and then Tyreek Hill's the fastest player in the league, you're already out of position by just being in your position. To not be out of position against the Chiefs, you need to already be there before the ball is thrown. You're out of position if you're not there when the ball's thrown. That's the problem with Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles' game plan. They thought our rookie safety, who's good, could run all the way to every side of the field no matter what was happening, and that's just not possible. And a big problem with this too is that they had way too much confidence in Carlton Davis, who is not a good corner. Carlton Davis is not a good NFL corner. This is true. And I'll say this because let me tell you what he is good at. He's a good press corner. He's good with his hands. And he's really physical. He's good with that. So he's good press, has good hands, very physical. But the second the receiver, like Tyreek Hill, which is a complete mismatch, gets off the press and is running deep, Carlton Davis cannot run with any receiver in the league, really. Carlton Davis is slow. His hip work isn't good. He should maybe look at Jalen Ramsey, who was in town the other week, about how to use good hips. And his ball skills are not good. This is something we've known for a while. Carlton Davis cannot run with you. Carlton Davis can press you long enough to where our defensive line can get pressure, because that's what all bad corners... If you're a bad corner, the best thing for you to look good is a good defensive line, because the ball from the quarterback is going to come out early, and it might come out hit. He might get his arm knocked. And if you can just press the receiver long enough, you can throw off the timing of the play, which is good. That's not a bad trait. That's a really good trait. A lot of corners don't have this trait. Carlton Davis does, but he is not good at covering, and he can't run. The main thing about Carlton Davis, you can say he's a good corner, you can say he's a bad corner. I personally think he's on the bad side. I don't think he's horrible. I just think he's not really that good. No matter what you say, you have to know that Carlton Davis cannot run with you. That's always been a thing. It's just when the coaches use him to press, that's when we have success. And we're trying to do that, but you're playing Tyreek Hill, who's the most finesse receiver in the league, who's just going to run right around you. Carlton Davis can't get his hands on you, and you're gone after that point. And Winfield, you're in the middle of the field, you're already out of position. You're not already covering Tyreek Hill. You're out of position, buddy. You're going to get roasted. Carlton Davis got roasted. He allowed 200 yards in the first quarter. And Bruce Arians, before the season, has the nerve to say that he is a top 10 corner in the league. I mean, that must be a joke. Like, I didn't know April Fools came early this year, but apparently it has, because apparently if you allow 200 receiving yards in the first quarter of a game, you're a top 10 corner. So if you're on pace to let up 800 yards from one player in an entire league, you're a top 10 corner. Thanks, Bruce. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Now, Jamel Dean did not play in this game, who's awful. He is terrible. And does that matter? No. Do you know why it doesn't matter? Because we have two Jamel Deans on the team. The other Jamel Dean is his name's Sean Murphy Bunting. Sean Murphy Bunting is also terrible. Carlton Davis, you can at least say, like, at best, like on Carlton Davis's best day, he's like, at least could be like a solid borderline starter, no more than a cornerback 2 on a team. But for us, he's obviously going to be cornerback 1 because we don't have a choice. With Sean Murphy Bunting and Jamel Dean, they are so bad. I mean, they are complete busts. I mean, this is a Jason Light, throw it up, pick 6 failure. Jason Light failed. He's a horrible general manager. We already know this. And we're going to get into the real problem with this team in a second. But Sean Murphy Bunting is... he's so bad, and I'll tell you why he's bad, too. He doesn't understand defensive coverage. And that's going to be an issue when you play in the NFL, and your job is to cover people defensively, and you don't understand defensive coverage. So that's an issue. And, I mean, on the first play of the game, I mean, they motioned Tyreek Hill out. And this is either, I'm not 100% sure if this is coaching or if this is Sean Murphy Bunting. I'm going to guess it's Sean Murphy Bunting because I don't think the coaches are that dumb. But then again, they kind of are. So, Tyreek Hill was on the left side of the field, which is the side, if I'm facing Patrick Mahomes, if you're Patrick Mahomes, you know, this is the left side, even though this is going to appear the opposite way, the left side, right side. So Tyreek Hill was on the left side. He motions to the right side, which would be Sean Murphy Bunting's spot. And Sean Murphy Bunting's playing up. He's pressing, and we're clearly showing man blitz, something, man press. And when Tyreek Hill motions out, they motion him, and then as Patrick Mahomes snaps the ball, Tyreek Hill then starts to run forward. So Tyreek Hill essentially gets a lateral to vertical head start, if that makes any sense, if you guys have ever seen a play like that. And Sean Murphy Bunting is just barely going along. Look, if you see Tyreek Hill doing that, and they're clearly going to snap the ball before he's even going forward, he's immediately going to get a running head start. You need to already be back. You need to already be back there because they ain't going to make a motion all the way out and then up just for him to go to do a short route. No. You are an idiot if you've ever watched film on the Chiefs, which clearly we have not. You would know that he's immediately going deep. And Sean Murphy Bunting is just jogging along, following him, and still playing a half yard off the ball and not backing up, knowing that he's about to get roasted because it's Tyreek Hill and you're Sean Murphy Bunting from Mac. So, what do you think happened? 40-yard play, first play of the game. Sucked the life out of me, sucked the life out of the fans, sucked the life out of the team, first play of the game. Sean Murphy Bunting doesn't understand how zone coverage works. I mean, we can get into that too, actually, if you want to. That was mostly in the Rams game where Cooper Kupp... Let's just talk about that Rams game for a second. This is where when I became concerned about the Bucs defense and how awful they are. Cooper Kupp, who I would not consider an elite receiver. I would consider him a good receiver, but I mean, you're Cooper Kupp. I mean, you're not Julio Jones. 11 catches for 145 yards. 11 catches for 145. Okay, well, what about the other one, Robert Woods, who's also not a great receiver? He's good, not great. 12 catches for 130 yards. Are you kidding? Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, they both had over 130 yards. They both had over 10 catches. I don't understand. If your defense is that bad, and everyone's like, oh, the run defense is good. Oh, that's because everyone passes on us. It's the same argument that I have to make every single year. And who's always right? I am. Every year it's, oh, well, the run defense is good because they only pass on us. How much passing yards they give up? Oh, 480 yards. Yeah, okay. How many times do I have to say that? How many times do I have to come on this thing and be like, oh, the run defense does not matter because teams only pass on us because our pass defense is awful and pass defense matters more than run defense. Thank you. And no one seems to understand that concept, but, we're just going to keep losing football games to good teams until someone listens to me, and we're going to keep doing that for a while, so let's go ahead and do that. This defense sucks. The defense sucks, okay? I don't know how else to say that. I really don't. They allowed 543 yards to the Chiefs. Well, it's the Chiefs. Okay, well, we're supposed to have a good defense. We're supposed to defend teams like the Chiefs. We're not supposed to show up with one safety and expect them to be like Ed Reed or John Lynch and run all the way over the freaking field and make every play of all time. That's not possible. Todd Bowles, that was an idiotic game plan. Bruce Arians really said, oh, yeah, our game plan was supposed to be we have one safety. That's stupid, Bruce. That was the dumbest thing you've ever said. That's the dumbest game plan you've ever come up with. And I'm tired of it. I'm getting tired of your coaching staff. I'm getting tired of you. I'm getting tired of everything. This team is 7-5 when we should not be that because we're, again, 1-4 against playoff teams. 1-4 against playoff teams. Does that sound good? Does that sound good? Well, it shouldn't. Our only quality win of the season is against the Packers. Oh, quality team like the Rams, lost. Quality team like the Saints, lost twice. One of them was just embarrassing, don't even need to talk about it. Quality team like the Chiefs, lost. Unbelievable. I mean, how bad is your game plan if you come out with a one safety for the whole first quarter? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I could come up with a better game plan. Oh my gosh. The lack of skill defensively and game planning is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And here we go again. Brady throws 2 interceptions. He has the second most interceptions in the league. We went from the guy who threw the most interceptions in the league, and, we made a big step this year. We now have the guy who throws the second most interceptions in the league. Go us. I'm starting to not look at the quarterback. I'm starting to change my focus. Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich. I'm going to blame them because they are to blame at this point. If your offense is so confusing and so, weird that receivers have all these options to bend routes and, we keep throwing interceptions and we keep going deep too much, I just don't understand. Change the freaking offense. It doesn't work against good teams. Okay, when you play slapdick like the Panthers, it's going to work because they aren't good. But then when you play a good team, like the Chiefs, like the Rams, like half the other teams we play, guess what? It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all because they understand how to beat us. I just don't understand what the offense is. I mean, seriously. I mean, how bad can our offense be? I mean, how many more weapons do you want, Bruce Arians? How many more weapons do you want, Byron Leftwich? Seriously. 2 Pro Bowl receivers, a Pro Bowl tight end, an above-average offensive line, let's throw out Donovan Smith. Ronald Jones is having a good year. Leonard Fournette was a top 5 draft pick. We added Antonio Brown, so 3 Pro Bowl receivers. How many more weapons do you need to stop having a bad offense? Get out Byron Leftwich. I'm tired of it. Thank you. He called, again, this is just the epitome. This is just the epitome of Byron Leftwich again. So what do we always say? Oh, he doesn't run the ball enough. Guess how many times he ran it? Only 13 times. Only 13 times, even though Ronald Jones averaged, I think, over 5 yards a carry. I understand what the excuse is. Oh, well, they scored 17 in the first quarter. We were down 17-0, so we had to throw the ball. I understand. But then once the game got a little bit closer, we still weren't running ball. We still weren't doing anything that we should have been doing. We throw when we should run, and we run when we should throw. That's what Byron Leftwich does to this offense. He inhibits it from being good. Then The one time we finally had a good play where we actually used play action, because we don't call play action anymore. We don't call play action anymore, even though Brady's statistically the second best quarterback in the NFL at play action passes, which is when you fake the run and then pass. And we don't use motion, which makes obviously no sense. And the one time we finally used motion and play action, and we had a wide open Gronkowski, and we hit him for a big game. We finally get down. This is right after halftime. We get into first and goal at the 5. We're only down by, I think, like 10, and we needed a touchdown. But yet, what happens? We get down there, and then Byron Leftwich play calling just goes straight down the tank again. Straight down the tubes. He calls a run play, and doesn't work. Then he calls this stupid motion play that's, look, I'm all for motion because we don't use it. It makes it extremely a lot harder for the quarterback because you don't see what the defense is doing without a motion. And we use a dumb motion where we have Scotty Miller coming across. We fake it to him. Then Brady rolls to his right and then throws it to Leonard Fournette, who gets blown up immediately. It was a loss of like 2 or 3. What was that? What was he thinking? Oh, yeah, we're going to have Brady, who's, super athletic, as we know, with running the ball, going to roll out and then throw. And Leonard Fournette was the only receiver on that side of the field. It was all faking that way, and then we throw to Leonard Fournette, and Chiefs defense is like, Chiefs defense sucks. And they're like, are you serious? Like, this is Tampa? Like, are you joking? Apparently, because Leonard Fournette was the only receiver on that side of the field. They covered him instantly, tackled him for a loss of 3. Embarrassing. Thank you. Embarrassing. I hate this team, dude. I try so hard, and it's just every year is the same thing, and I know why. The Bucs still haven't been able to overcome the main problem with this team, and that's problem that I've been saying this for a while, that you can't just keep getting flashier and expect it to kind of, sweep the other problems under the rug, because it's like, look, we have all these players. But yet we're still having problems. And the problems is we can't really draft good players because of our inept general manager. We've drafted some, but on defensively, I'm going to talk about defensively. Jason Light has done a decent job offensively, I will say. Ronald Jones is starting to pan out. And, a lot of it was due to bad coaching from other coaches. And honestly, maybe this coaching staff too. But defensively, Jason Light has failed this team. Okay, you drive Devin White top 5. Congrats. You made it your top 5. If your top 5 draft pick isn't an all-pro, then you're a terrible, horrible general manager. But the picks like Sean Murphy Bunting, I mean, really? Jamel Dean. And the misses, this is when you start seeing the misses, because the Justin Evans, that was a huge bust, and he was picked high second round, huge bust. That pick hurts us still. Mike Edwards is terrible. That pick hurts us. And now all of a sudden, our secondary again is still lacking because of Jason Light's inability to draft good players. I mean, you just see even Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis is his best secondary draft pick. We'll see about Antoine Winfield. This is just his first year. And yet he's not even that good. He just got exposed against Kansas City. Exposed 200 yards in the first quarter. You have to get rid of Jason Light, and you have to start drafting good defensive talent. This team can't overcome how bad the secondary is. And sometimes Todd Bowles will have a good game plan, and we'll get pressure, and we'll make it look not as bad as it is. But good teams, the good football teams, will expose how bad the secondary is. And it's because of Jason Light. We've been through 3 coaches under him, and yet we're still not that good. I think it's coming from up top, Mr. Jason Light. This is tough. It's hard to swallow, but it's true. We need to draft good secondary players. In a passing league, You need good secondary players, and we don't have really any. I mean, Winfield is our best guy, and he's a rookie, and he's a safety, and our other safety's not good, and none of our corners are really that good, and even Devin White in coverage isn't that good, and Levante David is not that good in coverage either, if we're being honest. But, and the defensive line has taken a massive step back from last year. It really has. Shaq Barrett, I understand he forced a fumble in this game, but if you have a choice to pay Shaq Barrett $16 million like the franchise, like he wanted last year, I mean, it's a hard pass on that. I would not pay Shaq Barrett. I would not pay Shaq Barrett anything, really. I mean, unless he takes a massive pay cut, like I'm talking like $6, $7, $8 million. I mean, I would let him walk. Shaq Barrett's probably not going to be here next year unless he takes that kind of money. I mean, up to this point, he has shown me no reason to give him $16 million a year like the elite pass rushers. I mean, come on. I know the stat that he has one of the most pressures in the league, but we need sacks, and Shaq Barrett is not there anymore. I hate to say it. You would not pay him $16 million, that's for sure. I mean, this is the game planning is. Can you guys just explain how we have the highest paid coaching staff in the league and the largest coaching staff in the league, and nobody knows how to game plan? Even the offense, it went out, and we already talked about this, or the other part, but the offense, hit I think 3 straight 3-and-outs. That's just a regular occurrence. We're going to give you 3 possessions right off the bat because we're not going to do a single thing on offense. And then we have to change it, fix it, and then it kind of works in the second half. But that means during the week, the game plan sucks on defense and offense because we have to change it mid-game, and at least they change it mid-game, unlike Lovie Smith's coaching staff where it's like you come out with a bad game plan, you realize it's bad, you stick with the bad game plan, you lose every football game. That was Lovie Smith's idea. This is at least like, okay, we're going to come up with a horrible game plan, and then we're at least going to change it and make it better, but then by the time we do, the game's going to pretty much be lost. And that's what happens with this team, and honestly, I'm getting sick of it. And the Bucs need to win out to go to the playoffs, I think. And we play the rest of the schedule pretty much is slapdicks. We have a bunch of slapdicks on the schedule the rest of the season. We have the Vikings, the Falcons twice, and the Lions. You have to beat all those teams, especially the Falcons, and especially the Lions, and then obviously you need to beat the Vikings. So, unfortunately, even if we do make the playoffs, unless there's major changes in how the game planning and preparation works and offense continuity and defensive preparation, we're going to probably lose first round of the playoffs. We're just not that good. We can beat bad teams, but we can't beat good ones yet. We've only beaten the Packers. That's our only quality win. To me, that's not enough, and that was a long time ago. You need to keep doing it. We need to keep doing it. And that's the unfortunate part about this team right now. And it could get better, but we're not that good right now, and it needs to be fixed. And it starts with Bruce Arians, honestly. It really does. And that's going to do it for this episode. And we are on bye this week, so I might actually do another one of these over the weekend or something. And then, it's going to be the last 4 games. Every game's a playoff game. We need to win out. And that's how it's going to be. And as always, go Bucs.